So welcome to Your Life Fulfilled. This is an expert summit where we're talking to experts about how they're living their fulfilled life. And we're talking to experts, mainly coaches and authors and entrepreneurs that have really stepped into their calling. And so you can step into your calling to know yourself and express yourself to the fullest of your awesomeness. So today I'm really excited to have my friend and a partner here at Your Own University, ahead of one of our departments beside me here. And if you haven't known me yet, my name is Antika Lisha. I am the CEO and founder of Your Own University, and it is my pleasure to bring you this summit. And we are hosting this summit to really promote and launch our amazing new e-media book. If you've never seen an e-media book, this is just a fun new platform for Kindle Fire and other places like that. It's a great leading edge book, and you can download yours actually onto your computer for free. Your copy is at yourownuniversity.org if you haven't gotten it already. So anyway, beside me here is the one and only Chris Sprague, the founder of VCN TV, the Video Content Network. And we know that you're extremely busy. We're going to keep this really short, as we are in all of these summits. We're going to get right into the content of living your life fulfilled. What do you do to overcome, big obstacles that could be in your way, like owning your own TV network? Doesn't only Oprah do that? And what does that consist of? So Chris, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. So what shifts in your life had you embrace, this mission to own networks, to do video for people, and to step into this big role, helping people create their dreams?
Yeah, great question. I, like a lot of other people, have gone through some seismic shifts in my life. It's interesting because I started off life as an actor and entertainer. When I was 5 years old, I was in plays, and I was acting all the way up through the time I got out of high school. And at that point, and it was only last year, so I know this hasn't been too long, but that's besides the point. But when I got out of high school, as Antique and I joke around about, we're the Dick Clarks of this industry. We're just a smidge older than everybody thinks we are. But that's besides the point. When I got out of high school, I thought I was always going to be in radio and television and film. In fact, that's what I was accepted to go to college for. I was accepted to 2 colleges and decided to go to neither. And on another episode, another time, I can tell you about all why. But the short version is, kind of letting other well-meaning people direct me in different directions, and it led to my detriment at that point. That's the really short version. So. Yeah. The interesting part was that even though I didn't go to college right out of high school, I stayed in the entertainment field for a while until it didn't pay the bills. So my first shift was entertaining just wasn't paying the bills. DJing, doing roadie work, that sort of thing. It was a great lifestyle, but not paying the bills. So then I jumped into what every entertainer, the field every great entertainer jumps into, information technology. Yeah, I sat behind a desk for a while, and just short version is I was blessed with a couple gifts. I believe everybody's blessed with a couple gifts. When you find them and you use them and you live through and within them, you're going to be a success. So as a successful IT guy, ended up my last position in IT as senior director for a Fortune 500 company, and that's where my next seismic shift came in, and it was getting laid off twice within 2 years. So during my time in IT, the short version is during my time in IT, I'd gone back to school, got a master's of science in leadership, and when I was laid off twice, I thought my mission and what I was supposed to do with the rest of my life was to teach people leadership. This was after not being able to get back in IT. I realized, okay, God's taking me in a different direction. Let's go out and teach people leadership. And that's kind of when the next seismic shift happened, and that's when my leadership the development business was not successful. My now ex-wife looked at me and said, either you shut the business down and get a real job, or I'm leaving you. I decided to continue on my path of a speaker and a teacher, and knowing that if it became successful, she would kind of follow along. And it didn't. She stuck to her guns, and the rest, as they say, is history. And that really leads us to I'll say the final seismic shift that took me into creating this digital TV network and building everything up. And I'm really shortcutting a lot. There's a deep into how all of this stuff happened.
Yeah.
But the short version is that through losing my wife, through I should say through having my wife leave me, and then through losing my mom to cancer and a number of other things, I started partnering with a guy to do video for people and to create the Professional Practice Builder Society and other associations. And what it led me to do is this, short version, spent over 18 months developing, perfecting the way to do this the right way, and realized that what I was meant to do through all this, through hosting my own TV show and all the other stuff I'm doing, is to help people like your audience, Antica, like you and the audience, take their message to the world. Because I'm one guy, and even if I had 1 million followers, and even if I had 1 million people watching me, it still doesn't match the impact of having 10 or 20 people or 30 shows on a network, each having 1 million or 100 million followers.
Yeah. Ah, I think it's so neat. And the common thing here that a lot of people have come on this show, this summit, and said, oh, I did this or this. But the common thing with almost everybody, if you listen to the stories, those of you who are listening, really start listening to how much failure we come up against in order to step into our truth, our calling, and our message. I know I haven't really talked about it, but the book, Chris, that I have here behind me, one of them, Failure, The Key to Success, going into that book was really challenging for me because I had to remember, or I got the opportunity to remember all the things that I have failed at. And it overcame me. And then I got to remember all the things I've been successful at. And that led me into the realization of the confidence that I hold now. But unless you go through all those failures, you don't realize, you don't have that beautiful counter intelligence going on within you of what to really appreciate, how to really step into your own, how to own your own calling. And it's not easy. It's not easy for any of us to own our own calling, I don't think. How about you?
Yeah, no, it's kind of interesting because the short version of how I went through my own thing, and the reason I'm smiling so big about going through failures is because as a public speaker, or as the founder of VCN TV, as a TV show host, you realize that you can connect better with an audience once you have a story. And even though I was bullied as a kid, and even though I've been through, even though I was bullied as a kid, I was homeless at one point, and even though I went through all of that, still a couple years ago, I decided to look up at God and go, you know what, God, I don't have that really powerful story. I don't have that major story that all people who are successful have. Little did I know the sense of humor God has, because that was when he said, fine, kid, you want a story? Your wife's going to leave you. You're going to have a financial meltdown. You're going to lose all your worldly possessions. Your mom's going to die of cancer, and your grandma's going to die. Your last living grandparent's going to die of first stroke. There you go, kid. And finally, towards the end, I kind of looked up and said, God, I love you.
Okay.
I know you got a sense of humor, but I give up. It's enough.
Right.
I got the story.
I got the story. And you probably could have accepted their first story. And I just want to point that out to everybody because I think about this often. I really, really do, Chris. Like, I actually think about this often. And I'm like, no, like my story is good enough. I don't have to go back, even though I did my story really young or at a younger age. I don't need to create new ones now in order to say I give myself permission to be a mega success. Just some feedback for all of you. You don't need to learn from Chris right here. You don't need to do what he did by asking for that big story. He could have accepted the homeless story or the bullied as a kid story.
Exactly. And the one thing I want to interject real quick is I think my shortcoming was not wanting to wallow in the past and not wanting to be pitied for the past, and not wanting to really, and not wanting to own it or not wanting to accept it. I mean, the fact of the matter is I was trying to be strong, and then there got to a point where I was so strong that I kind of blocked everything out and forgot I mean, the
Yeah.
funniest story I have about bullying, I've got to tell this real quick. The funniest thing about bullying was the fact that, to show you how screwed up my brain was at that point, is I got bullied as a kid and I had enough of it. I was just sick and tired of it. And the day that I had enough of it was the day that I had no lunch money and I had my brown lunch bag. So bullies came up, they tried to take my lunch money. I'm like, I don't have any lunch money. And so what did I do to fight them off? I threw my brown bag lunch at them. So then I had no money and I had no lunch. So they really achieved their goal. But the fact of the matter is this, is that when people have these stories, when people want to force through their barriers, they don't want to be pitied. So they don't want to go all the way back to their youth because they've been told they need to get over it. And it's like, yes, you have gotten over it, but those are incredible stories to turn around and use and
Right.
resonate with people, and do
I
it in a
always,
way that you're not looking for pity, but you're
yeah.
looking to show people, hey, this is where I came from. And if I can come from here, you can too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is so beautiful. I love that you said that, Chris, because we, there's a place of acceptance. I mean, that could be tip number one, which is our next question. Like, there's a place of acceptance that you have to have about your story. And then you can create it as a story. You don't have to go dig through your, for lack of a better word, SHIT. And I'll just spell it because it sounds better. But you don't have to go dig through it. You just don't. And quite frankly, you shouldn't. If you're already through it, but it can be really powerful. And some people that are digging and that aren't through it will hear it, resonate with it, and move into, oh, but I want what he has. I want what she has. So thank you so much for that. So what tips have you learned beyond, as this storytelling tip is one thing that you came against failure and moved through it, that it was a choice that you had to make to step into being a network owner? What other tips do you have for people that are wanting to do, something kind of big, really
Yeah, I
create
mean,
something amazing?
Yeah, I mean, to create something amazing, first you have to accept what's happened to you in the past. So we just talked about acceptance. Second, especially if it was bullying, or especially if it was being put down. I mean, let's face it. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I may look very confident on camera right now, and I am. When I first started this, I was and I still am a public speaker, and I do keynote and platform speaking. I couldn't create a video to save my life. It took me almost a year to create my first video because I was scared. Now get a grip, people, get a realization. I was on stage in front of live people at a lot of times in my career. I knew the power. I ran a TV station when I was in high school. I was in front of and behind the camera, yet I was still scared to be
Yeah.
on camera. So you have the acceptance, and you have to understand where your fears lie and then tackle them one at a time. Nobody's ever achieved greatness by letting their fears control them. That might be good. That might be a little in the SEO for this. Here's the thing: everybody's scared. Les Brown is scared. John Maxwell is scared. I guarantee you that there's things that Tony Robbins gets scared of. I guarantee you that there's things that even Oprah gets scared of, but they let that fear fuel them. So once you accept it and then you realize your fears, you realize how to overcome and use those fears to empower you versus disempower you.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 So we're going to accept, we're going to step through our fears to empower us, and we're just going to go for it. That's what I'm hearing you say. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
Yeah.
see, here's the thing of it. As an example, the way my old fear now empowers me, I mean, I love having this much energy. And the interesting part is a lot of people take this as me being nervous. And if you want to classify nervous as having a bunch of extra adrenaline because you love what you do, then sure, I'm nervous. I'm nervous all day long. I'm nervous every time I get in front of a camera. But it's not the camera shy. It's realizing that fear that was put in me from I'll say day one, when I got bullied, when I used to have kids ask me. I used to break dance back in the days, and I used to have kids ask me to break dance and then beat me up while I was dancing. I mean, it takes a real coward to have somebody on the floor and not even looking at you dancing, and to kick them in the butt, which is what would happen to me. Now, I use all of that to come on and deliver this energy to you and to your viewers, because I love it. I love having this much energy. And at the beginning, people got this all confused and said, well, you're nervous, you're not confident on stage. And what I've started to realize is that has nothing to do with the lack of confidence. It has to do with the fact of allowing that kernel of fear and knowing that there are some people who are not going to like what I say. There's some people who are not going to like me, and that's okay. But letting that fuel it and letting me come out. And even if you don't want to be on camera, even if that's not your goal, when you accept and when you've moved through the fear, you can still let that fear fuel you. I mean, that's the one thing Les Brown talks about all the time, is the fact that every time before he goes out stage, he's scared. And it fuels him to a great performance. And it's nothing to do with it. He's been doing it 40 plus years. I mean, the guy is a master of public speaking. It's all in how you harness it and how you let it fuel you. It's like compressed air. Real quick, it's just like compressed air. Air is around us all the time. It allows us to breathe, and it allows us to live our life. But if we compress it, it can turn into fuel, and it can turn into something that will shoot us or whatever we've got in front of it forward.
Awesome. I love it. I know this last month when I was speaking, my legs started to shake as I was in the back of the room starting my talk. I started a lot of times from the back of the room, and I was like feeling that come up, and I just wrote it down, and I was like, I'm going to use the shake. Like, here I am. And it's not even nervousness, because I do it when I sing. I do it in other times. I've been on the stage as well my whole life. It's it is that adrenaline rush, and just allowing that acceptance of allowing who you are and what you are. And there's always going to be critics, no matter what job you do, no matter what you do, there's going to be critics. There's going to be people that want to kick you when you're down, for lack of a better word.
Yep,
so that's
exactly.
Awesome. So right now, where are you going with your network? What are your goals and your mission right now that you're on with VCN TV?
Yeah, VCN TV, the Video Content Network. My goal for that is to turn it, the long-term vision. This is the BHAG. And Antika, I'm not even sure. I mean, we've talked a lot. I'm not even sure if I've told you this yet. And if not, your summit audience is probably getting a preview, because I'm not sure who I'll tell between now and the time this airs. But my goal is to take VCN TV from where it is, a digital television network, and migrate it eventually to be on a cable, be in the cable TV package somewhere. So there's a real BHAG goal there, of turning the channels, the shows, and everything else that we bring on to the network into things that people can consume in their home. Now, let's face it, that's based on getting epic hosts, that's based on creating epic shows, and that's based on having epic people be part of this whole journey. So, that's the overall BHAG goal. We've got those intermediate goals of bringing on hosts and creating great shows around great epic people like yourself, Antika, and like people in your own university, and getting that epic message out there, because that is the key, is getting the message out, getting your message out, getting everybody who's watching, getting your message out to the masses in a way that people will be attracted to, because that, that's the key. That's going to help us as a network grow. It's going to help you grow. Of course, the goals are to bring on more channels, to bring on more shows, and then keep migrating it to a point where it is a part of everybody's living room. Yeah.
And we did talk about that, and we talked about some ways of doing that too. So I'm really excited. So I know that we are teaming up, and this is like an announcement for everyone. We are going to have our own shows that you can share, you can watch on the internet. Chris here is going to be doing everything for yourownuniversity.tv, and super, super excited about that as an up and coming platform. We have some great shows coming up. And if you have a show idea, we'd love to hear about that from you. But more specifically for you in general, I know that if you're a coach and you do personal empowerment, you can join our channel, and that would be fantastic. Come and talk to me. But if they just want to start a show, if they want to start their own channel, like, how would somebody get in touch with you? How would somebody do that with you? And what kind of shows are you looking for at VCN TV?
Sure. So in general, for VCN TV, if anybody wants to reach out for me, just send an email to info@vcntv.tv. in the subject line, put show idea or put something in there to let me know that you've got an idea for a show, or that you want to be a host on the network. As far as the shows we're looking for, in addition to the great empowerment stuff that we're going to be doing with Your Own University TV, the key to building this out, and the key to the widest acceptance, is have the full gamut of shows. So I'm already talking with somebody in developing a game show for the network. We're going to be looking at bringing on sports commentary. We're going to be looking at bringing on news. We're going to be looking at bringing on other things across the network, because we want people, when they think of video content, to think of the Video Content Network, and we want people to come there. So they come, it's kind of like there's a song, you came for the comedy and stayed for the tragedy. I forget exactly the line in that song, but it's I even forget the name of the song, but I think you all know who I'm talking about. If not, we'll play it later, or you can contact me and I'll tell you what it is. But the whole point is this, is that I love feel-good TV, and I love empowerment. If you look at even what Oprah did, Oprah's channel and Oprah's network is struggling because that's all they did, and there comes a point where people get saturated with it. So that's why we want to bring great entertainment, great things, and we do bring great things that keep people coming back and to watch more, to get more involved, and say, oh, if I want to go to someplace to learn something, to get empowered, to have some fun, to have some entertainment, I'm going to go to VCN TV. And then they'll be attracted to Your Own University, and they'll see your channel and get great empowering advice, and be able to do great things.
Yeah. Yay! So everybody, you can contact info at V as in Victor, C as, or V as in video. Let's do it this way.
V as in videos, C as in content, N as in network. Hey, whoever thought of that channel name, I'm going to give them a gold star for the day. I don't know. It just kind of.
Oh, I love it. That is just so awesome. I love it. So anyway, it's just .tv, or is it VCNTV.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So email him there if you have an idea for another show. Email him there if you want to be on Your Own University TV as well, or you can email me at info@antiquealicia.com or at yourownuniversity.com, either or, and connect there. And we have a great gift for you if you want something. Do you have a gift?
This is called show prep, people. No, and actually, Antika, I'm glad you asked. Yes, because one of the things that people come to me a lot with is say, Chris, I don't even know where to start creating content. I don't know how to start creating content that would be great for a show. And even if I got my own show, I'm afraid that creating content is going to be this thing where it's going to be a struggle. So what I'm giving everybody as a gift, if they go to vcntv.com/ what the heck is the name of this summit again, Antika, since my brain is not working?
Your Fulfilled Life.
There we go. So it's going to be, it's vcntv.com/ Your Fulfilled Life. Head over there and you're going to get a free gift of a content creation tool that I put together and use with all the clients and everybody who comes on the network. What it is it's a way for you to understand how to create great, memorable content. And I'm not talking viral content, because there's a difference between viral and memorable. And one thing real quick is people focus on having their content go viral. And while that's great, if it also isn't memorable, it's not going to matter, because you're going to get your 15 minutes of fame, like Andy Warhol said, and then you're going to go into the ether, so to speak. So we focus on creating memorable content so that once it does go viral, people will remember it and come back to you. So you head on over there, sign up, you get this video content creation tool that we put together, and we're taping this a little early. I'm not sure if it's going to be released online yet, but we're going to be coming out with a beta in 2016 I'm not exactly sure when, of an online version of this content creation tool, which will speed up your content creation, whether it's for the show or whether it's for your own blogs or other things. It's going to teach you how to create memorable content, and we're going to have this. You're going to get early access to the online beta of our video content creation tool.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's hugely generous. So everybody, that is a wrap for today. Like I said, short and sweet and pretty awesome. Tons of fun. I hope that you got a lot out of this. That you can step into maybe doing video, maybe doing something for yourself, opening up your vision for being able to impact the world in a bigger way. If you would like to still know who you are, why you're here, if you're still answering these or asking these questions within yourself, you want to explore how to feel really comfortable in your skin, know your message, and then step into expressing that message in a very authentic way. That is why I created Divine in 9 8 years ago. It is an award-winning program, and right now this at-home program is on sale, major sale here at the Summer Summit for only $197. You can get it, and there's even a 2-pay option. I've never had it this affordable before, and it is yours now, but you have to get it while the summit's going. After that, the price goes back up. And live your fulfilled life. Until next time, ciao.
Make it an epic day, folks.